From Atomic Eagle, we have Phil Hoskins talking about the Muntanga Uranium Project in Zambia. And you've only had this project for 3 short months, but you're already putting out an upgrade to the mineral resources there with 2 Maiden MREs at the Chisebuka and Muntanga East targets. So an increase of 24%. Phil, congratulations. Can you tell us how you've pulled this off in 3 short months?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And it's a tremendous result for the company and a validation of the exploration approach that the new company is taking to this project. So the Muntanga project more broadly had a 47 million pound resource. And so these 2 additions at Chisebuka and Muntanga East is a 24% increase. So it is a significant increase. And to do so at a cost of $700,000, which works out at about 6 cents a pound, obviously is adding incredible value for shareholders. We know uranium's trading around $90 a pound at the moment. So, to have these resources added at 6 cents a pound, clearly a big delta there. So the resource itself, so a 9.7 million pound Maiden MRE at Chisebuka. It's reasonable grade and it will underpin its own separate heap leach operation, eventually transporting through to a central processing facility. And it's worth noting that Chisebuka deposit now is the 2nd largest deposit in the entire project. So to have achieved that in the first few months is no small feat. Muntanga East is a bit smaller, 1.7 million pounds, but the proximity of that deposit is what's important. So that's within kilometres of Muntanga and Dibwe East, which is the central location for the majority of the resources so far on the project. So all in all, increasing to 58.8 million pounds, a fantastic achievement in the first few months.
Can you tell us a bit more about your approach to Muntanga overall? How are you managing to keep these exploration costs low, especially relative to spot prices? And what is your approach in terms of picking out targets and existing deposits to further explore?
Yeah, so the cost of drilling uranium is quite cheap. We're talking 100-metre depth vertical holes with a percussion rig. I think the all-in cost is about $45 US per metre. So it's incredibly low-cost drilling, and you follow it around with a gamma probe and take the gamma readings, and down the track you drill diamond drilling and confirm with assays. So it is incredibly cheap exploration. In terms of looking forward, there's multiple layers of data that supports our exploration approach. So over 20 years, a lot of data has been collected. It's just that our predecessor company didn't have the funding to commit to exploration in a meaningful way. So to have uranium in soils, to have the geophysical signatures, radiometric anomalies in a search space, the Karoo sandstones that are known to host uranium deposits, and equally we have already proven that they host uranium deposits in this region. So we know it's a great killing ground, and that's what bodes well for the project moving forward, because the strategy for Atomic Eagle is to take the existing resource and to seek to more than double it. So towards the end of last year, we announced an exploration target, which in addition to the resource was between 40 and 100 million pounds. So that would be at the low end, a doubling of the resource, and at the top end, more than tripling the previous resource. So to have 24% early should be a good sign to shareholders that we're on track, and I think 2026 will be an exciting year as we continue to take that exploration approach to the project.
And to that end, I understand very soon you're about to embark on the largest drilling program undertaken there in 20 years. Can you tell us a bit more about these forward-looking milestones?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think during March we'll come out with some detail around what that program's going to look like. But I would expect in the order of 50,000 metres of drilling, and I mentioned that shallow vertical holes will get a lot of coverage of the various exploration targets that we have. To begin with, we'll start with Chisebuka. So whilst Chisebuka has defined a 9.7 million pound resource, there's still a lot of that resource that needs to be infill drilled to obtain the geological confidence for that whole target to come into a resource. So we're going to start with that first cab off the rank in late March. there's two other targets nearby, Namakande 1, Namakande 2, that are very large radiometric anomalies with supporting uranium in soils. And so we'll be looking to drill those on a 400 by 400 metre spacing to begin with. And then a very large target, about 30 kilometres from where the majority of the resources are, a place called Muntanga North. It's an 80 square kilometre region with 10 discrete targets within it, all very reasonable size, but again, the same geochemical and geophysical signatures that are displayed on our other deposits. So we're not talking about greenfields exploration. We're talking about really impactful drilling to grow our resource position as quickly as we can. And the aim of all of this is to underpin a much larger throughput mine that is economic in all uranium price environments.
Well, Phil, congratulations on the 24% increase already realised, and all the best with the rest of the efforts to double or triple it.
Thanks very much for having me.